Well, howdy there, Bronco fans. Chris, our first losing edition of Bronco Planet 3933. Hide the pets. Lock yourself out of the house. Don't kick anything. Don't break anything. How you doing 48 hours after the loss?
Let's be honest. Losing sucks, right?
Sucks bad.
Sucks, but at the same time, this is one of those games. 2 days later now, it's kind of a meh.
Yeah, I think you kind of saw that earlier on, and everybody shared earlier on in the season. Tell me why this wasn't too much of a surprise for you.
Yeah, we when the schedule came out, there's a handful of games that you always circle, and for me personally, this game was one that I had circled as a loss. You knew that the hype was going to be unbelievable, and then you look at the way the Colts have played this year, winning at San Francisco, beating Seattle at home. That's a really good football team, and the bottom line, you can't turn the ball over 3 times. You can't take a dozen penalties, and not just your garden variety penalties, but stupid penalties. Vickerson, stupid, that would have gotten you the ball back in a situation to win the game. But, as poorly as they played, they're 1.5 yards away from winning the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they hung in there. I think Decker's coming along as a receiver, second in the NFL in receiving yards. You see Danny Trevathan, I think, really coming along every week.
He's really played
Chris
well.
Harris doing good. Certainly missed Wesley Woodyard, and we'll continue to miss him. We need that guy back for all him and Franklin, I think, really killed us. But overall, you said it right. End of the game, still had a chance to spite themselves. Now, here around Denver, we've watched the Nuggets and J.R. Smith, and the problem with J.R. Smith, J.R. loses his mind, right? He'd get into one of those zones and he'd just freak out, and lots of penalties, and you couldn't get him back. What in the world happened to Kevin Vickerson? I mean, I love this guy. He's done a great job, completely lost his mind, and shame on the Denver Bronco coaches. One of your jobs as a coach, Chris, you coach a lot of different youth sports, you got to keep their head in the game. And the fact that they couldn't reel him in the stupid penalties he made, just unexcusable. And I'm surprised, actually, that middle one, when he jumped over and tried to break the guy's leg, didn't end up in some fine. So F- for Vickerson on that. The coaching, a little suspect, but the fact of the matter is, you look at the New England game later in the season, you think, boy, that's going to be a tough one, playing at Indy. But you really, really wanted this one, Chris. You wanted Peyton to go in there, do his little wave. Class act, by the way, as you would expect from the Colt fans. But you wanted Peyton Manning to get out there and just get after him. That first drive, and boom, boom, boom. Decker's in there. I'm thinking, hey, here we go. Yeah. And then I don't know, got some floppy passes, and it got silly there, and I don't know what happened to him. Maybe that getting hit too many times.
The play calling, I really thought was curious. They played, I felt like, from about the middle of the first quarter on, like they were down by 30 points. You can only, I felt like I was watching Dan Reeves, first down, let's run into the line. Hasn't been there all night, but let's make sure we keep running into the line. And Manning was it's hard to say a guy didn't play well, when he's pushing 300 yards and multiple TDs again. But somebody on the outside, I thought Thomas, in particular, Demaryius Thomas, played poorly. He's got to win some of those one-on-one battles. You could tell there were a number of 4 or 5 times where Manning looks and he knows he's got one-on-one coverage out there, and he's just going to throw it up. And DT's made those catches all year long. And on a night where he didn't really make any of those big plays, it really hurt him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think sometimes the big guy, 88, can be a little timid, and I don't get it. Man, somebody's got to say, hey, take a look in the mirror, man. You're like a Megatron, man. Go beat the crap out of people, and how he can get held and controlled, I don't get it.
Yeah, there was more clutching and grabbing. I mean, it looked like a bad NBA game in the backfield, and the officials, but Shad, that's one of the things. And we've all played enough sports to know you play a portion of the game, and you see what the refs are going to call and what they're not going to call, and you've got to adjust your game that way. And if it means you're more physical getting off of those guys, so be it. But they needed him to make a big play late, and it just never happened.
Here's a couple of things that really have been bothering me, and I wish I was in the planning of some of these things. But if you think about it, you're on the road, you're playing in front of a loud crowd, you're in your own 20, you're on your own side of the field. You got the NFL sack leader and Mathis there going against a backup tackle, and it doesn't dawn on you that maybe I had to put a tight end or a running back
to chip
on that side to put a chip on. We don't do it. All of a sudden he hits Peyton and the ball's through. Not only you get a safety, but now you got to kick it off and Peyton doesn't get the ball in his hands again. I mean, that was a huge, huge mistake. All right, here's another one. Julius Thomas, love the guy. Great when you're moving down the field. But why is Julius Thomas in there when you're deep in your own territory, when you got Virgil Green and Joel Dreesen, who are great blockers? Why are they not in there protecting yourself on the road, deep in your own territory? I don't get the logic there. And it happened. Mathis, is the NFL sack leader for a reason. He made the Broncos pay for that poor coaching decision. In the middle of the field, I understand it. And then let's talk Ronnie Hillman here. When Ronnie Hillman's out in open space, you're at the 30, you're at the 40, you're 50, you're middle of the field. I get it. I like Ronnie Hillman in that situation. Why are you handing the ball off inside the 5-yard line with the NCAA leading touchdown guy ever sitting on your bench, and Noshan Moreno, who's proven that he can pound it in this year, and you give it to Noshan Moreno? That, my friends, is stupid. Plain stupid. You can't fix stupid, Chris. The Broncos paid for that as well. Your thoughts? Do you get that?
The Hillman thing is just beyond. If you're dead set on getting Hillman in the game and getting him the ball, you got to swing him out. Which the goal line is not the place to do that. It had to be Monte Ball, it had to be Moreno, or it had to be 5 wide. And we saw the pick routes that they ran all night. I have a hard time believing with a couple shots from inside the 5-yard line you weren't going to score there.
And can you believe the Broncos with John Fox passed on Eddie Lacy?
Yeah.
A big built running back, just like John Fox loves them. And our guys, frankly, I think that's the one thing you got to be a little concerned about.
Well,
the no drafted players, the late round drafted players are getting all the action. The Chris Harris's, Duke, etc. What's Derek Wolfe done for you this season?
Well, let's not get into who's been passed on when you start getting to Alec Ogletree.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we couldn't use him in our linebackers. So I think we've missed the boat a little bit on our first round picks. I know we had a loss. We're a little bummed out today, but I'm seeing a lot more from our late round picks. I think what you got to give Elway an A+ on is the guys he's picked up, the Wes Welkers, the Peyton Manning. Go get Sean Phillips. So when you lose Elvis Dumerville, that's where Elway gets an A+. But Ronnie Hillman and Monte Ball, pretty early picks. Not doing much for you.
Got to be able to score from the 2-yard line.
Fumble.
I think.
Anyway, let's take a break from the negativity. Chris always brings negativity to the set. I'm usually quite cheerful.
Right.
But we're going to go to the prize monkey and give out something really special.
What could be better?
Prize monkey, that monkey's funky.
Say what?
Prize monkey, that monkey's funky.
Well, typically we don't like to give away new prizes when the Broncos lose, but the last time that happened was preseason. So we had announced this last week. You're going to like this. Jimmy James drew this for us, and we had David Bruton sign it over there with
really cool
KOA
piece.
at the Red Robin, as they're there every Thursday.
Yeah,
we want to
cool.
give that out to Chris Lujan.
You sure that?
Oh, yeah.
Chris?
No, not you.
Okay.
The cool Chris. Chris has been following the Broncos for years. We see him out at the parking lot. Diehard Bronco fan, always active on all over the social media. So,
That's
Chris,
awesome.
that's yours, buddy. And now let's talk to the other Chris. Talk to me about the Redskins, because this ain't going to be a walk in the park, and it's another freaking homecoming. Now we have Mike Shanahan.
I'm surprised if this is not more than 21 points. This game's a blowout.
Really?
This game is a blowout. There's not one thing on the Redskins that scare me. Maybe one thing, Ryan Kerrigan on the defensive end. If the tackles don't figure out what we're doing offensively, Kerrigan's a good ball player. They can get some pressure on the quarterback. Offensively,
I don't know. The tight end for the Redskins is starting to be a sleeper out there, and had a huge over 100 yards and a touchdown last week. We know the Broncos struggle against tight ends. Pierre Garçon, right?
Pierre Garçon.
Yeah, he's done all right.
I'm telling you, listen.
And RG3 on the run, 21 points.
I'm telling you, they win by 21 points. This is a get well game.
Well,
this is a get well game.
That's getting real well, and I'm not mad. I'm not mad if we do it, Chris.
I think you see maybe the loss. You go back and kind of rethink the offensive mindset, and I think you come out. Remember years ago, the Raiders came in on a Monday night. Remember, and Rich Gannon, dink and dunk, pass. I think you see that this week, and I think I think I'll tell you. Remember what happened last time when I felt there was going to be a special teams touchdown?
Yeah,
was there?
You feeling it? Yes.
Was there? There
yes,
was.
there was.
This is going to be 400 plus yards and at least 21-point win.
Well, I will be very.
If not, I'll do the show with my shirt off next time.
Hold
Yeah.
Let's hope that doesn't happen, please. I just visually, I'm having trouble focusing here. So, all right, well, the big game for sure. We're getting ready to roll into the bye week. You know, you're an athletic quarterback, RG3. You got a little bit of a bad taste. So, if there was ever a time for the Broncos to tune it up a little bit. No homecoming crap, Peyton Manning. Let's stay focused, buddy. This is the time.
Yeah. No, and this is a game, like you said, you're going into the bye week and then coming out. You're about to really get into a real important part of your schedule. And this is a game that you can't overlook, and I don't think they will. I don't think that's an issue this week.
All right. Well, you've heard it all here. Special teams, lots of yardage. I don't know. You can't argue with Chris.
Trying to get
He's
Trendon
100%.
Holiday to not get knocked out by a punter again.
Yeah, don't drop the ball either. And let's hope that the Broncos come out and just go for it, right? No more of this sissy play calling.
No, this is a big one.
Stick it to them. And by the way, if Kevin Vickerson's still not running sprints for all that Mickey Mouse, I'm going to be pissed. Start running, buddy. We don't do that here. This is the NFL. Have a great one, guys. We'll see you after the Broncos destroy the Redskins.